My brother got married in Jamaica 6 years ago. It cost me $2,300 for the week, plus a week off work unpaid. It's not really a huge deal. I love my brother, and I wanted to be there for him. I had a great time, and actually met the woman I'm currently dating there at the resort. So it's been 6 years, and my sister-in-law's pregnant. It was a huge surprise because they were planning on waiting a while. Now they're planning another wedding. I asked him why, and he said he wanted to renew their vows before the baby came. I said that was cool, but I wouldn't be attending. I'm busy with work and my own life. He said he wanted me there. I said no. He said it was important to him that I be there. I said that I had already attended his wedding once, and that was plenty. If he wanted me to go to a second wedding, he would have to pay me for my time and for my trip home. I live and work in the Bay Area, and our family's from Raleigh. He finally admitted that the first wedding was a sham. They got us all out there for a party. I told him to get lost. My mom called me to tell me I was being a jerk not coming to the wedding. I said I would go if my brother covered my expenses. She said I was being ridiculous. I said he was being a narcissist if he thought that 2 weddings were needed. She wouldn't relent. She started bugging me and calling me out on our family Facebook group. I told her and my brother to leave me out of their goofy wedding plans. Everyone started dogpiling me about not being there for him. I reminded them that I was his best man at the first wedding. Nope, not good enough. I had to be there for this because of family. I'm not the only one who would have to take a flight for the wedding. I told everyone to leave me alone and muted the group to avoid any further discussion. Then they started calling me. I finally just started telling everyone that I wouldn't go unless they paid for this wedding and my time at the previous one. That just made people angry, so I told the truth. I said that the first wedding wasn't real and that my brother wasn't married and that he was probably only getting married because our family trust excludes kids born out of wedlock. It's not a lot of money, but it covers a full 4-year degree and provides a grant to start a business. We can't live off the money forever or anything. So this started a massive fight, since many people had been upset about a destination wedding the first time, and lots couldn't afford to go. They felt excluded and made fun of. And now the people who did go are angry that they blew their money on a party. And don't get me started on the gifts. So this has caused a lot of stress for them. He called to yell at me for outing him. I said he was a dumb idiot for not just quietly going to a justice of the peace. He said his wife is hormonal and wants a real wedding. I think they faked his first wedding to get both sets of religious parents off their backs for living in sin. And now his wife has a change of heart due to her unexpected pregnancy. I don't need to see a second wedding. Am I the idiot? So they lied to every wedding guest and had a fake wedding to avoid living in sin, had a baby out of wedlock, and now want everyone to come back for a not fake wedding so they can get trust fund money? Quite the Christian household. You are not the idiot. Your brother, his wife, and your mother are for pushing this absurd fantasy on everyone else. Tell him you'll be attending his third wedding to his second wife, but you won't be buying gifts. I'm guessing the brother is a moron. He didn't think things through, or he thought he could scam the family into giving lots of expensive gifts a second time. The audacity to rag on his brother for not being able to attend the vow renewal 6 years after the destination wedding, knowing that the first one wasn't a legal ceremony, then to get your family involved to rag on OP after he confessed to OP the real reason for the vow renewal. He should have taken the loss and moved on. OP's brother is definitely a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Yeah, having a sham wedding and then letting the cat out of the bag by saying, "Hey, let's do it again." It sounds like they screw around and find out. Sister-in-law got her wedding. Now they can go to the courthouse and make it official. They can even throw a small party if they want. But this expectation that everyone shows up for a real wedding after lying to everyone about the first one is absurd and selfish. OP, don't waste your time with this loser. I, 30 female, got married 4 years ago to James, 32 male. James has 2 children with his ex. My stepson is a mid-tween, and my stepdaughter is 1 year younger. I love my stepchildren, and I try to be a good stepmom. not the crazy, evil kind or the kind who wants the kids all to herself and tries to screw over the biological parent. I see my role as an additional adult in their lives, contributing to their security, but I don't believe I'm an equal parent. They don't see me that way, and that's totally fine and lines up with my experiences with friends who had step-parents even from very young ages. I dated James knowing he had children, and I always wanted to be one of the step-parents the kids were glad to have in their lives, not the ones they tolerated for the sake of their parents. My husband's family does not have these same expectations, and during my pregnancy, I've struggled with that. To my in-laws, I'm an equal parent. I'm a third-time parent and not pregnant for the first time. This has been a difficult expectation for me. I feel like my whole pregnancy has been compared to my ex's pregnancy with my stepchildren. Some comments get made by mother-in-law and father-in-law like, "Oh, the other two weren't that bad," because I had such extreme morning sickness that led to her hyperemesis gravidarum. Or when we found out the gender of the baby, and it was mentioned we didn't find out with my stepchildren. My husband told them it wasn't like I was involved in either of those pregnancies, but it went over their heads. My sister suggested throwing me a baby shower, and mother-in-law mentioned that you only have a baby shower with your first and how inappropriate one for the third would be. She said people would judge so harshly for that decision. This has weighed on me. It makes me feel jealous, which is new. I wallowed for a while about how unfair it was that my husband had gone through this twice before. It means his family expects me to give up first-time experiences, like a baby shower, or that they compare my pregnancy to his ex's two pregnancies. I was worried it would make me a worse stepmom feeling that way, so I started therapy. My husband and I did talk a little, but he couldn't completely understand how I felt. He told me it wasn't wrong to feel a little unsettled by the comments and that he would do better to end them. But I told him I didn't want that jealousy to fester and grow, or for it to become resentment toward him or my stepkids. So I started therapy 6 weeks ago. My husband was so frustrated with his family starting all this that a week ago, when they made another comment about the baby shower, he told them it was that crap that sent me to therapy. They asked what that was supposed to mean, and he told them that they made me feel like crap for experiencing my first pregnancy, and he was over how they responded to my pregnancy. This started an argument between him, his mom, and his brother. Then my husband's family claimed I was weaponizing therapy and overreacting to a situation I signed up for. Am I the idiot? Oh, honey, no. You're not an idiot in the slightest here. Even if you felt that you were the third parent to your stepkids, this is still a new experience for you. It's a new experience for your body and will be your first time raising an infant. And the fact that they disregarded that it's actually insane on their part. I can't tell you what their motivation is in all of this, whether they think somehow they're protecting your stepkids from feeling like other or what. But you need to take a little break from them and do the things that spark happiness as you add to your family. I'm sorry, but your in-laws are just making crap up. You only throw a shower for your first baby? Who has ever heard of this? It's total BS. Also, it is your first child. I've never been invited to a baby shower for a straight dad. They're for the expected mother. You absolutely deserve a shower. And congratulations on your pregnancy. Yeah, your in-laws suck. But your hubby has his whole family on his side, spewing nonsense like you're weaponizing your therapy. You're sitting all alone on your end of the table, trying to fight for your right to have mixed emotions about a crappy situation you were forced into. Interesting husband you've got there. I, 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 25, for a year and a half now. We're very happy together, rarely argue, and are very much in love. For context, I'm a first-generation immigrant from a third world country, living in a European country. My boyfriend, on the other hand, is a native. I study robotics, and he studied linguistics, but is currently unemployed. Anyway, on to the issue. I've met his family a handful of times now, and at first, they were very welcoming and lovely. I thought they liked me. And then they started making comments like, "Oh, you must be very happy you ended up with a guy like boyfriend." And "You're such a lucky girl to be dating boyfriend." I would smile and say, "I am very happy. And he is indeed a thoughtful, loving man." This went on for a while until eventually I just blurted out, "Oh, well, he's lucky to be with me just as much as I'm lucky to be with him." His mom laughed and said, "Not exactly," and told me that I have to admit the perks of dating a native and how men like him usually don't date girls like me. I found this very offensive and told her I do love her son, but he's unemployed and will probably be for a very long time because of his useless degree. I told her that if someone was lucky, it would be him. Obviously, she got very mad and kicked me out, and I gladly left. My boyfriend wasn't present at the time, but I suspect his mother told him everything, except the part where she was very racist, because he called me and was angry that I said he's lucky to be with me and that his degree is useless as I'm better than him. I pointed out that it's hypocritical of him to say when his family does that to me every day and he never stood up to them. Anyway, now thinking back on it, I think I shouldn't have said that about him and that my grievance is with his family and not him. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. His mother was obviously trying to make you feel less than. Your boyfriend probably agrees with his mother. If he doesn't, he's spineless and doesn't stick up for you. Either way, he's not a good partner. He should have shut that down the first time. It won't get better. The fact that he allows his parents to mistreat you will only get worse if you two have children. OP, your boyfriend and his family all think they're superior to you. You can do much better than all of them, including the boyfriend. I hope you dump him and find someone who's worth your love, someone who will jump to defend you the very second his family steps out of line. Useless degree, huh? Well, at least he knows how you feel now. You are the idiot. You're not great if you can't defend yourself without insulting another person. Seriously, if the first thing you do to defend yourself is to attack your boyfriend, who isn't even present, I'd take a good look at your relationship. It's time to reconsider whether you love him or not. Also, at least now he knows how you really feel about him. I, male 42, have a daughter, teen, Joe. Joe's one of my kids with my ex-wife. My ex-wife has a job that has her traveling a lot, so Joe stays with me most of the time. Joe has gotten bad acne within the last year, maybe a year and a half. I have gotten her multiple types of face wash and moisturizer, but her acne hasn't cleared up. So I figured it was just part of her being a teenager. And maybe she wasn't always washing her face, and that's why it hasn't cleared up. Well, recently Joe's been asking to go to a dermatologist because regular face wash and moisturizer doesn't work for her. I told her acne isn't that bad, and she probably just needs to wash her face more often. Joe then told me she's self-conscious about her acne and would appreciate going to the dermatologist and seeing if they could do something for her. So I asked her if she had washed her face twice a day or only did it when she felt like it. She started crying and ran up to her room. Less than an hour later, I got a call from my ex-wife calling me a huge idiot for accusing Joe of not washing her face, and that's why she has acne, and that it could be hormones keeping her skin from getting clearer. And she said that she'll make sure Joe gets to the dermatologist when she's back in town. I didn't think I was the idiot. Still, my ex-wife is pretty angry and called me an idiot multiple times. So, am I one for asking my daughter if she actually washes her face? Daughter, Dad, I've tried everything to get my acne to clear up, and nothing is working. I need to see a specialist. Can you set that up for me? Dad, doctor? You want to see a doctor? You're just dirty and won't take care of yourself. Here's some soap. Dude, wow. You are the idiot. That's pretty much how you sounded to her. Your daughter asked you for professional help, and you told her to wash her face? How can you have so little empathy for a teenage girl who's feeling self-conscious? Apologize, educate yourself, then get her the help she's asking for. Acne isn't caused by a lack of face washing. By the way, Unless OP's a physician, he doesn't know if she has regular old teenage acne or if it's systemic, for which all of the face scrubbing in the world won't help. Not to mention that overwashing one's face, especially with harsh cleansers and on delicate skin, can cause acne to worsen by actually drying it out, causing oils to come to the surface, which causes more acne. OP, you are the idiot. Hands down. Go apologize to your daughter and make her dermatologist appointment today. Yeah, I thought the whole acne is caused by a lack of face washing thing died back in the early 2000s. If washing the face would solve the issue, then nobody would struggle with acne in the world. It can be so mentally and physically painful for those who have it. Just take her to a dermatologist already. If you had something on your face, something really bothering or unaesthetic, and that you couldn't make go away, wouldn't you go to the doctor? Take your kid to the dermatologist, idiot. So yesterday, my boyfriend, 20, and I, 22 male, were looking after my niece, teen, because her mom's a nurse and got called into work. While she was over, we decided to make some food. I had just taken the tray out of the oven, and my niece accidentally leaned her arm on it, burning her. My boyfriend quickly rushed over and started to help her treat it. I won't explain why, but my boyfriend has much experience dealing with burns and knows what he's doing. While that happened, I texted my sister to tell her what happened, that my boyfriend was tending to my niece and that she'd be okay. About 20 minutes later, my sister turned up at my place and rushed to see her daughter. She was obviously worried and expecting the burn. After she calmed down, she turned to me and asked why I let my boyfriend treat my niece instead of waiting for her since she's a nurse. Honestly, I was taken aback and didn't know how to respond. Her daughter was okay, so I didn't know what the problem was. Later, my boyfriend told me that it was never a good idea to leave a burn and that it needs to be treated right away, even small burns. My sister kept telling me that I was irresponsible for letting someone who wasn't medically trained treat my niece. After that, she lectured her daughter for about 10 minutes on how to look after her burn, things my boyfriend had already told her, and then headed back to work. She was also insulting and just glared at me and my boyfriend when she picked her daughter up. Today, our parents called me to ask me why I couldn't look after my niece because her mom got called out again. I told them that my sister never called or asked us, which is strange because we're normally her first option since we live on the way from her house to the hospital. And due to my and my boyfriend's schedules, at least one of us is almost always home. I'm trying to see my sister's side, but I'm honestly struggling to see why she's so upset, even to the point of not wanting us to know my niece anymore. I would love any insight. Am I the idiot? Edit. My niece has some health issues, which means she needs someone near her in case she has an episode. She just needs someone in the house. Most of the time, we aren't even in the same room as her. Not the idiot. You handled it correctly. I don't understand how a nurse could think it's better to let a burn sit untreated. To be honest, she sounds irrational over the whole thing. Maybe she's upset because you weren't panicked enough and dared to judge for yourself that things would be okay. Some people cannot stand a calm adult when they feel their child is threatened. I'm a nurse. You don't let a burn sit around for 20 minutes. Your sister has issues. If it were a toddler, I could see her blaming you for the child getting burned. But a teenager? No harm is done, and minor burns are an inevitable part of growing up and how kids learn. If your sister will take away the privilege of you babysitting for free, that's her loss. That's a good theory, I think. Decades ago when I was a kid, we called those types of parents helicopter parents. Your sister should thank your boyfriend and not be rude. Burns need immediate attention. If your sister doesn't want to continue using you as free, in-demand childcare, then she can hope everyone else is as willing, capable, and available as you are. I look forward to the day she gets over her snit and tries to call you, only to learn you're out of town.